Good morning. Today is January 30th, 2017. It's Monday morning, and I'm going to be doing a truck repair video on my little 1991 Chevy S10 Tahoe here. It has been almost 2 years since I've had to do any kind of repairs on this old truck. It's a great running little truck. The last repair video I had to do to this truck was replacing the starter motor in it. And that was a real drag. I hope to never ever have to do that one again. So I need to put a new windshield wiper motor in this truck today. I am not sure what happened to the old one. This truck was parked for the last 2 weeks of December last year. And then in the first week of January of the new year, we got a ton of snow, as you can see here. The truck was pretty buried for a week and a half, almost 2 weeks. So basically it sat for a whole month without being driven or even started. Sometimes the temperatures got down to like 10 degrees at night. So apparently in that month period between December and January and all the cold weather and the snow, the windshield wiper motor just decided to stop working on me. So I'm going to assume that this is probably the original windshield wiper motor from 1991. You can see it right there. It's pretty simple. 3 bolts and a wiring harness. Looks like it'll be pretty simple to get off there. So I've already bought the new motor from AutoZone. It's pretty much an identical duplicate. Get a $14 core charge when I take this back. These motors are in the $40 range, so that's really good for me. That could easily be $240 with the modern cars of today. So I feel pretty lucky there. I should have all the tools I need to get this job done. I could find absolutely no tutorials on YouTube that will help me to change this motor, unfortunately. The one thing I'm pretty sure I can already tell right off the bat is simply unbolting the motor and pulling it away from the firewall isn't going to get me access to the bolt that will hold the windshield wiper arms to the motor. So I'm just going to naturally assume I'm going to have to pull this cowl off, and it looks like it's only going to be about 6 bolts to do that. And then once I pull the cowl off, I'll be able to stick my hand down in there and access that bolt that connects the arms to the motor. The first thing I got to do is figure out how to get these windshield wiper arms off here. I'm sure they don't just pry off. I do not know how to do that. So that's the first order of business, is try to learn how to get those arms off. So I found several tutorials on how to remove the wiper blades on this particular truck. You just Google it and actually look for it on YouTube. As you can see, I've already done the passenger side. It comes off pretty easy. So the only thing you need is a nail this size. I got another one here because I'm just about to do this one. And you simply pull the arm up, and then you'll be able to stick that nail through there, and then with just your strength you'll pull that off. So that one came off pretty easy. It was a little hard to get to because it's in the center of the truck here, but this one should be pretty easy. Let's go ahead and pull this one off now. I've already begun pulling this off and rocking it back and forth, so I guess it's a matter of getting this arm pulled up and into that position that somehow releases it. Oh, see, it just fell right off. Well, that's good. That's how you do it, apparently. So evidently it'll go back on the same way. You see there's a little clip there that should keep it on there nice and tight. So anyway, so with that done, I'll remove these, pop the hood open, and begin removing this cowl. Alright, I removed the 6 bolts that were holding the cowl on, and they were all American, by the way. That's always nice. Alright, with the 6 bolts removed, the 2 big ones were on the ends, and the little ones were in the little water tray there. Pretty easy to get off. Now, pulling the cowl off. Hopefully there's no hidden bolts anywhere that are going to cause me a big problem, and there sure is not, but there sure looks like there's a big mess in there. Oh yeah, there's a big mess of leaves. Alrighty, well, I finally got that cowl out of there. I actually struggled with it for about 5 or 6 minutes because I got hung up on the washer fluid hose. The hose didn't want to pull through the little grommet there, and so I finally got it through enough that I was able to disconnect it from the cowl. So that's a way to do it. You wouldn't want to pull that all the way out, but I did have to disconnect it from the washer, and but I finally got it. Yeah, I would guess that I'm probably the first person to ever have removed this cowl since it was put on in 1991. So now I need to, this thing should just lift out. Yeah, it feels like it's bolted somewhere. Alright, well now we gotta figure out how to get that off. Alright, we got that black piece out of there. It actually clips in, it's not bolted. And just as I thought, if I had not removed the cowl like I did, I would not been able to get to that bolt once I unbolted my wiper motor. It wouldn't have pulled out enough, and I would have just spun my wheels trying to get in there to get that out. So I would have had to remove it anyway. So that was a smart call on my part. Okay, the big nut there on the motor is actually a 13 millimeter. So I'm going to go ahead and unscrew that now. Doggone, I couldn't get that bolt to break loose. I had to get out the big water clamps. It was turning the motor and everything else, which tells me that the linkage isn't seized up, but we're about to find out because I just broke that loose. And that should just come right off there. But it's gonna need a little persuading, I guess. Alright, we got the old persuader here. Oh, there it's coming off there. Well, come on. Yeah, I suspect this thing hasn't been apart since 1991-ish. Yeah, it's gonna need more persuading. Okay, well, there's nothing wrong with my linkage. It is feeling really good, as you can see. It feels really nice and smooth. It's in good shape, so it must be the motor. Alright, time for the side-by-side comparison now. Everything looks exactly the same. I would say it's going to fit. Do have to reuse the nut. I already threaded that on there. And I'm also going to have to reuse these 2 grommets. And I don't even know if they're called grommets, but I'm going to need to put those on there. Looks pretty good. So that motor came out of there pretty darned easy. It is a, I can't read it. It's a 10 millimeter is what it is. So I've ran across 2 metric things and they were both on the motor. Everything else is American, at least on this job. So the motor came out of there pretty easy. I doubt that it's going to go back in quite so easy. It just never works that way, does it? Okay, it's actually running. I got it on full blast right now. And it's actually running in there. Can you see that? The arm's not hooked up, of course. Okay. It looks like it's good. I'm really, really happy. So tomorrow I'll take this back to AutoZone and get my 14 bucks back. I also had to use this part here, this rubber grommet. I forgot to mention that. So the reason I'm not finishing it today is I want to replace this. Since I got this cowl off, I might as well buy a new one of these and the new hose when I go to AutoZone to return the motor tomorrow. And then we'll put it back together, clean it all up, get the blades on there, and I'll be ready to go for another rainy season around here. So I hope this video helped somebody out that was doing this project. It's actually, I found it to be quite simple, really. It's a little bit of a work, but it's actually pretty simple and pretty doable at home. Okay, so that's it. Thanks for watching.